It's going to take how much to move into Lorne Park? Okay, so we're driving through Lorne Park, which is arguably one of the most sought after neighborhoods in Mississauga for a number of reasons. Anybody who's looking to live here really wants to be here because they know they've got a sweet and easy commute to downtown Toronto. And if they're a family especially, schools. The schools are just top shelf here. Community feel, well, I'm gonna turn in here because we're kind of asking ourselves the question, if we've got $200K to put down, what can I get? So this would be a really great starter area. Interestingly, we get a lot of people who want to downsize from their big homes and move into these townhomes as well. So it's such a dynamic mixed demographic that comes into this community here. We've got incredible 2- and 3-story, some split level places, some back onto a ravine. They're in various states of repair, as most neighborhoods. Some have been done to the nines, and those are going to range well over the $1 million mark. And then others, well, they need a little bit of TLC, and so those are going to start currently in today's market in the 800s. So $200K with a good family income, you're going to be able to get into the Lorne Park community. You're going to be able to enjoy the parks, the neighborhoods, and what I really love about these townhomes is, well, aside from, the little playground if you've got little ones, what's really great is there is a mix of townhomes with single car garages and double car garages. So if you are a 2-car family, you're going to be able to get both those cars into your home, which is just so incredibly important for many people. They're really bright. The end units, amazing because they've got the extra set of windows. Everybody drives slow because, as you can tell, there's speed bumps through here. And I'm just looking at this corner unit here, and it's got the windows over the staircase. So much natural light coming in. These aren't feeling crowded. They really feel like you've got a proper home that you're living in. The backyards, they're small. You've got your terraces. What's really great about them is you've got your private fenced area, and you can actually do some of your own gardening as the summer progresses, as the spring months, and then the area in between. So it's an exclusive use private terrace. The lawn maintenance, all the gardening, everything around the complex is looked after as part of your maintenance fees. All the fencing and everything around the area, that's all looked after by the common elements, the maintenance fees again. Any trees that need to be trimmed, not your problem. Somebody else is looking after them. Now, in some other complexes, that could be covered, even snow removal is covered by some of the condo corporations, but not this one. This one, you're on your own. Home price, $500,000. You need a more, if you've got $300 down and you're buying a place for $500, which doesn't exist in Lorne Park, right? You're going to be at about $1,000 a month on your payments. If you're looking at 1.2, if you've got $300,000, 1.2 is a very common price point, particularly in Lorne Park. You're going to have a $900,000 mortgage on that, and then you're going to be looking at an estimated payment of about $4,500 a month. That's just for the mortgage. It doesn't include any of your property taxes. So on 1.2, you're probably looking anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 a year on property taxes. That's got to be added on to it. And then, of course, all your utilities and everything else does not take into account your phone, internet, your car payments. If you're living in Lorne Park, you probably got a fancy car. Let's be honest, it's a luxury area. And so you're going to require, that's a high earner income. You're probably going to need a family income of $220,000 a year combined or more. So if we're looking at 1.2 on a townhouse, you're going to get something that's going to be in really pretty good shape. You're probably going to have good floors, newer appliances, updated kitchens, cabinets, a nice backyard. If you're looking at 1.2 for that kind of product, Lorne Park doesn't have a lot of semi-detached, but even the few semis that are there, in that range, the semis will still be in good condition. You may want to update some floor tiles or something of that nature, update a bathroom, paint the kitchen a new, more modern color. It's probably not going to get you a detached property at all, not even a lot. because Lorne Park is a very, if we call it exclusive area, it is a high-end, high net worth area. People seek that neighborhood for a number of reasons: big lots, big trees, preferred schools, easy commute to downtown Toronto, great village in Clarkson Village, just south of Lorne Park. So you've got all of these great amenities that are there, and amazing parks where people build skating rinks. Like, you've got all of these things that are really geared to established families. So for 1.2, you're not going to get that finished detached home that you might be looking for to raise your family in. 1.4 is going to get you a detached house on a smaller lot in Lorne Park. You're going to have to update your kitchen. It might have a bathroom updated. The basement might be finished, but it's going to be finished like maybe in the 80s. So you're going to go down and you're going to go, oh, I don't like that broadloom anymore. That's got to go. So at 1,450 to 1.5, you may be able to find a detached 2-car garage, 4-bedroom house in Lorne Park. Most likely, if you're in that 1.4 to 1.5 range, you're going to be at the north end of Lorne Park. And why do I mention that? Well, because the north end of Lorne Park backs towards the QEW. So now we've got a noise factor to consider. We got the highway rushing by. For some people, that's white noise. They love it. Helps me sleep. I don't care. For other people, it's like, it's too loud. Keep me away from the busy streets. So 1.4, 1.5 is feasible in Lorne Park. Not if you want all the high-end finishes and bells and whistles, though. So let's say we've got a home price of $1 million. So $1 million is going to get you a nicely finished townhouse in Lorne Park. Fantastic for anybody who's starting out, planning a family. They need space for that. They want the good schools. They want that preferred area. They may work from home and or hybrid, be going downtown. They're close to GO stations. You got all the stuff. You got all the things that you're looking for. And so now you've got, calculating in that you're looking at $1 million. You've got heating expenses, let's call that your basic hydro expense of about $300 a month. That's going to take some of the gas expense into account as well. $500 a month on property taxes, because that's maybe a little bit on the high side, but let's be a little conservative there. If we're looking at one of the townhouses, we've also got about $630 a month in condo fees, and then we got a car we got to pay for, $500 a month. Okay, so we're taking all the things together. We have a mortgage down payment, so that's our full down payment, $200K, and that's going to get us a mortgage amount that's going to be an uninsured. It's conventional mortgage. We're not paying interest, or we're paying interest. We're not paying insurance. Going to give us a mortgage amount of $800,000, which at 4.79. we are now looking at a monthly payment of $41.70. And that's if we're making $200K a year as a combined family household. If we put $300 down, everything else being equal, but we were gifted, great grandpa, whoever, twice removed on my best friend's side, left me $100K. At the same, everything being equal, we are now at $43.52 a month. And that's going to get us a home price of 1.1. So now if we've got $300 to put down, now we can start talking about moving up to a semi-detached, maybe. If that amount of down payment and those expenses are going to give me a home price of 1.1, 1.34, well, here's what we know the banks will do. They're going to give us a little bit extra. We might be able to push up to 1.2 if we're really looking at a semi or maybe a detached in a different area. So maybe it doesn't have to be Lorne Park. There's multiple good school districts in the city of Mississauga. So maybe I go just north of the QEW. Maybe I go a little bit further west. There's different places we can start to explore where that down payment is now going to get us a little bit more. And maybe instead of a townhouse, I can even be looking at a detached property. And ultimately, the difference there, getting a detached property versus a townhouse, for the majority of buyers, It's going to give us longevity in a home. And as much as I love to help people buy and sell all the time, longevity as a homeowner is what we're looking for, because moving is expensive. The moving, the land transfer taxes, the realty fees, the lawyer fees, the movers, the new furniture, the painting, the decorating, all of that adds up. So if we can have longevity in a home and kind of take our budget and go, this is my dream neighborhood, but maybe I don't necessarily need to be right in that neighborhood. What are my other options? Here's the challenge with days on market. Because a lot of sites are going to show you days on market. That's from the last time the house was listed. It's not the full days on market. So what do I mean by that? We see houses have price reductions. And when there's a price reduction, sometimes it's just reduced in price. So I put the house on January 1st, and on January 20th, I go, nobody's bought, I'm gonna drop my price, and we drop the price, and it carries on. So those days from January 1st, they're gonna continue counting. What happens a lot is we see the listing from January 1st canceled, and a brand new listing goes on, and it resets the counter for how many days on market. It is so important to know that, because the longer a house is on market, the lower the value goes. If we don't get it on the market at the right price first, it's almost like you're putting a house in the scratched and dented section of the appliance department store. Nobody wants something that's been languishing. Nobody wants something that nobody else wants. We want the shiny red apple, not the apples that have been sitting in the produce aisle forever, because nobody else wanted those. So it's a perception. There can only be two things. Either there's something wrong with the house itself, or there's something wrong with the price. And if something's sitting on the market a long time, typically it's price. That the price doesn't, we have to look at this house in this location, in this condition, should be priced at this. And if that price isn't a match to the location and the condition, it's going to languish. The market is always going to correct. If the price is too high, buyers will sit back and go, I'll wait for them to lower it. I'll wait to see how desperate they are, and then I'll make a low offer, and maybe they're desperate and they'll take it. If a house is priced at market value or slightly below market value, now the consumer who's been studying the market, they have a fear of loss. That house is the right price. That's the kind of house I've been waiting for. And these sellers know that they should be priced at this. I agree with them. I want to make them an offer. And that's what every other buyer thinks as well. And this is when we see the swell of activity with any listing in any market, because the consumer knows approximately what a house should be priced at in its location and its condition. There is a fair bit of competition to get into Lorne Park. Well, there's always competition when a property is priced well. But being such a desirable neighborhood, when the right property comes on, we can't really afford to sit back and wait and see what's going to happen. When we've studied the prices and we know it's a good price, man, we want to get in on that, because I've got a client who I brought to the house, and we figured about how much market value was worth, and we put in the offer, and there were 4 other offers, and she's like, what do I do? And I said, well, you've got to increase your price. And she's like, well, you told me it was only worth this. And I said, well, not tonight. Tonight there's 4 other people who want it too. So if you want it, you got to go up just that little bit. She went up a tiny bit. She got it. She's been there for 10 years now, loves it. The really interesting thing about that situation, though, it was another 18 months before another house in her price point that she loved came on the market. And she loves that house. It was well worth that smidge more to win it. So yeah, there's competition when people want a certain product in this neighborhood. You got to go for it.